Don't we love to see Hollywood exes co-parenting like pros? We love to see it. Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin recently proved that even after a split, family comes first.
If you once loved the person enough to have children with them, you have to focus on what you still love about them and what's beautiful about them.
The duo reunited in Paris for a very special occasion, their daughter Apple Martin's society debut at Le Bal des Débutantes on November 30th. This event wasn't just a big deal for Apple, but also a heartwarming family moment that had everyone talking.
She's such a cool person. She went with such an open mind and heart.
Gwyneth gave her fans a glimpse into the glamorous weekend with a series of Instagram photos and videos. She started with a calm shot from her flight, hinting at the special weekend ahead. Then came a cute mirror selfie with Apple, who wowed in a custom Valentino gown. Fun fact, it took 750 hours to make. Gwyneth kept it simple and chic in a black dress with a gold belt. There were more family moments too. One of Chris Martin and their son Moses chilling on a bench, and another of Gwyneth with Moses and her mom, Blythe Danner, in a bright room. What nice family moments to remember.
How's the family? How's everyone doing?
Thank you. Everybody's great. They abandoned me. They all went to college.
And believe me, Apple's debut was truly one for the history books. Not only is Le Bal known for introducing young women into high society, past attendees include Lily Collins and Margaret Qualley, but Apple became the first debutante ever to wear a custom Michelle gown. A proud moment for the Martin Paltrow clan, for sure. This sweet family moment is a reminder of just how well Gwyneth and Chris have nailed co-parenting. Since their conscious uncoupling back in 2014, they've stayed on great terms, all for the sake of their kids. Gwyneth has been open about how much she admires Chris's parenting style, and it's clear why.
Even though we're not in a romantic relationship, we're a true family, and we like to do things to reinforce that we're a family for the children and for each other. And he's like my brother. I'm very close to him.
Last year, she shared with People that Chris has this sweet, childlike spirit that makes him such a fun and adventurous dad. She gave us a glimpse of his spontaneous side, saying, "He'll be like, let's jump in the ocean, even if it's 58 degrees, or let's check out this quirky guitar store." It's not just about the adventures, though. It's the energy he brings to everything. Gwyneth even described it as him sprinkling fairy dust whenever he's around.
We're really good friends. I really like him. He's great, and he's a great dad.
Sure, Chris is on the road a lot with his music, but when he's home, he makes it count. His real sweetness, as Gwyneth calls it, shines through in how he connects with their kids. It's not just about being there, it's about bringing a little magic to everyday moments. And that's a parenting win we can all applaud. As for their love lives, Chris is happily engaged to Dakota Johnson, while Gwyneth has been married to Brad Falchuk since 2018.
My spouse gives the best advice. He does. He really does.
Fun fact, Gwyneth and Brad lived separately for the first year of their marriage to ease their teenage kids into the transition.
We each have 2 teenage children whom we love very much, but we were just trying to be mindful and give them a little space and not move too quickly. And
even now, Brad still spends a few nights a week at his own place. Gwyneth says it works for them, and that all her married friends actually envy their arrangement. Now, it seems like Gwyneth and Chris have truly mastered co-parenting. But it begs the question, why didn't their relationship work out? Let's dive into that. When Gwyneth Paltrow announced her divorce from Chris Martin on her blog Goop, it literally crashed with all the responses. And for good reason, the couple was together for 11 years, and that is a long relationship while dealing with the stresses of Hollywood. The weirdest part about this couple's divorce came after they split, though. Paltrow even said her ex-husband is like her brother now.
We like to do things to reinforce that we're a family for the children and for each other. And
the couple's meeting was full of rumors before they had even met. That's right, they hadn't even met yet, and the public was obsessed with the idea of them together. Paltrow said, "It's funny because people had started writing that we were going out and we had never even met." When the couple did finally meet, it was in 2002 at one of Chris's Coldplay concerts. It came at a very challenging time for Gwyneth because just 3 weeks earlier, she had lost her father, and she was still dealing with the aftermath of his death. The pair started dating almost immediately after they met, And as a part of the actress's healing, Chris had written 2 songs for and about her.
2 lines of that song which she very kindly gave me the idea for. It was actually about her dad. We were talking about her dad who passed away, and that's how that came out.
Fix You and Swallow are 2 songs that have the ability to break your heart, and he wrote them for her to get through the pain of her father's death. But what is a Hollywood love story without a shotgun wedding? Just a year after they met, the couple secretly eloped and got married in California. It was so secretive, in fact, that not even Paltrow's mom was at the ceremony. They got married, of course, because they were madly in love, but also because 2 days before the wedding, they had announced they were expecting a baby. The pair were really good at moving fast, because a couple of months after their wedding, they gave birth to their daughter, Apple. Like every Hollywood couple, they went for an unusual name for their child, and even Oprah Winfrey was confused by the choice. She asked Gwyneth why that name, and Paltrow said it was because the name was sweet, clean, and perfect. I'm sure that's what we all think when we look at an apple. 2 years later, the couple welcomed their son, Moses, and he was named after a song Chris wrote for Gwyneth before their wedding. The couple always kept their marriage and kids extremely private, so private that they never even walked down the red carpet together. But in 2009, rumors began to spiral that the couple had split because they hadn't been seen together in a while. The actress spoke about how a lack of publicity didn't equate to them having marital problems, and even said, "It doesn't behoove us to be a public couple." He certainly doesn't want to be that. We've never ever walked down a red carpet together. We never will. If people think that that means we're not together, then ha ha ha, so be it. We can understand that. But a year later, it seems that those rumors may have gotten Paltrow thinking about her marriage.
You know, it was a very intense time for our family, and emotions were very high and deep and all over the place, so I just tried to keep to myself.
In 2010, 4 years before they announced their divorce, she spoke about her realization that her marriage was over. The couple went on a trip for her 38th birthday to a storybook cottage, and she knew despite the long walks, longer lie-ins, big glasses of Barolo, and the hands held, her marriage was over. She even said, "What I do remember is that it felt almost involuntary, like the ring of a bell that has sounded and cannot be undone. I was successful at turning the volume down on that knowledge. It would be years until we said the words aloud. But that weekend, a dam had cracked just enough to hear, and it grew louder until it was all I could hear." In 2014, she announced that she and Chris were splitting on her blog, Goop. It was a separation that broke the internet and had millions of fans mourning the loss of an iconic Hollywood couple. In her blog post, she had used a term their couple's therapist had used, which was conscious uncoupling.
You know, we just wanted to minimize the pain for the kids, and they just want to see their parents around a dinner table, basically, you know, so we try to keep that.
This term had a lot of people raising eyebrows and wondering what it meant. It seemed like a way to dim down a tragic breaking up of a family, but Gwyneth cleared this up for everyone. It's a term that describes the ability to look within oneself and realize problems within a relationship that are caused by yourself and need healing. She was vocal about her divorce and the term conscious uncoupling, and said, "Frankly, the term sounded a bit full of itself, painfully progressive and hard to swallow. It's very different for every couple, but for me, it meant more than anything, being accountable for my own part in the dissolution of the relationship." She was intrigued by the sentiment of the phrase, because it meant that her family would stay together even if she and Chris weren't together as a couple.
Where you are, but still being friends to that extent, that's a lovely thing.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful, you know, and we have these 2 incredible children, and yeah, it's been a strange and amazing path, but I'm so grateful to be right here, right now.
She said, "Family structure can be reinvented, and divorce doesn't have to be devastating. It doesn't have to be the end of your relationship with somebody. I think Chris and I were meant to be together and have our kids, but our relationship is much better like this, friends and co-parents and family." In 2015, they filed for divorce, and by 2016 it was finalized, but according to court documents, they had been separated since early 2013. The ink wasn't even dry on their divorce papers before Gwyneth moved on. In fact, they didn't even have divorce papers yet. In 2014, she met Brad Falchuk on the set of Glee, and by 2017, the couple were engaged, and a year later, they were married.
You know, every relationship and everything is you make it have an intention, then you put work into something. So, you know, I think we're just love our kids and love our families and want what's best for them. And so what's best for them is everybody getting along.
The actress seems to be more than content and happy with her new husband. And not only that, but Chris loves her new beau. Chris started dating Dakota Johnson in 2017, and they still live together in a house they bought. Chris, Gwyneth, Brad, and Dakota all vacation together. Gwyneth even invited Chris and Dakota on her honeymoon with Brad.
My new husband and his children, my ex-husband, our best family friends. It was a very modern honeymoon.
We're all for a healthy breakup and blended family, but that may be a little too healthy. Still, their amicable divorce may be the blueprint for many on how to keep a strong friendship with your ex-spouse even after the romance fizzles out. Paltrow even pushed Martin to reconcile with Dakota after they had briefly split, because as an insider said, Gwyneth is happy if Chris is happy. She only wants the best for him. The pair also take co-parenting extremely seriously, and they have managed to keep their family together even though they are apart. They see and talk to each other every single day as friends and co-parents because they believe they need to keep their commitment to each other in order to put their children first. It's because of that sentiment that their children didn't struggle through the negatives a divorce usually brings to the table. Instead, they saw that their parents still loved each other, but more as friends than as a couple. Gwyneth has even said that the relationship she and Chris have is more like a relationship with a brother. Could that be pushing it? We aren't sure how many people have kids with their brother, Gwyneth. She even added, Chris is like my brother. You know, he's my family. I love him.